everybody. Welcome to Behind the Zines, a little new name, new you, new 2022. Here we go. Today we're going to be chatting with Krys from Zineville. You've seen their Zineville channel. You've watched the videos. You've seen some of us on there. You've probably even been on there doing the countdown. We're going to chat with Krys and pick their brain, learn a little bit what they're doing with their zines, with the channel, and also with, Zine Fest that they're involved in. Craig, it's been a while. What have you been up to?
I've been up to a lot, actually. As you can see, my studio is a little bit more emptier than it used to be, and different angle. I'm in the middle of moving, much like our guest, actually. But zine-wise, I've recently put this out. This is 5 o'clock Tokyo. I've taken out the in, so it's now 5 o'clock Tokyo. This is issue 3. It's a lit zine like all my other stuff. Got some typed. It's got some handwritten stuff as usual, and that's what I've been up to. Yourself?
Well, it's been a busy year, actually. I've made a lot of zines this year. The newest being Pocket Thoughts 22. It's one of the best issues of Pocket Thoughts. It's full color now. You get your usual, every page is a different adventure. There's fake ads in this one. If you remember Lizzie Shue from the 11 Teen cover, she got her own special this year, which satirizes like teen magazines. It even has pull-out pinups for your wall. You can put posters of Lizzie Shue on your wall. And something that I'm really quite happy that I made earlier this year was the Make Your Own Zine. This one, completely blank on the cover to do whatever you want with, but it's all different prompts on the inside. They're very typical zine things like, make a list about this, or here's a playlist, I really hate when, or I really love that, and just something for someone who's never made a zine before, that has always wanted to but didn't really know where to begin, that they could get this bad boy and at least stir something up, hopefully.
Yeah, very cool. I'm glad it's becoming popular. It's cool for you. Great idea.
Yeah. And speaking of
go.
Oh, speaking of popular, our guest today recently switched from Zine Cuisine to Zineville, and their popularity went up the roof. So, Krys, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you're right. It just changing the name to something that was a little more in line with the mission statement for what I wanted to do for our zine community. It made all the difference. It's slowly ticking up on YouTube. YouTube's usually a slower crawl. It is, I guess. But Instagram, where I literally post like 3 or 4 times a day, Instagram is where a lot of I'll repost anything anybody asks me to, and I put a lot of excess zine content, inspirational quotes about how to make zines, everything I can do to kind of help kick the butt in the zine community so we can keep on making.
Yeah, I was surprised about the name change, because I saw it. I don't know how I saw it, but I saw it somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I thought, new zine kind of channel, and then I clicked on the homepage or the page, and I was like, "Oh, I'm already following." Oh, okay. So I was confused for a little bit, and then I think you mentioned that. Oh, yeah, we've just changed the name, so I like it. I really like the new name. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like our little town, our own little community. So it just kind of felt a little more broad than just Zine Cuisine. It kind of felt a little more stifling. So I figured let's move it on and let's expand it.
I think you hit the nail on the head with community, because I always really liked the name Zine Cuisine. I like things that rhyme and cute sounding, which is really what it was. But Zineville really does emphasize community, right? And you've already done such a great job of getting people, onto the Zineville channel, in the episodes, talking about their zines at Zine Fests, showing off what they do and what else they like by others. So, at the end of the day, whether you make zines to sell them or give them away or what, we're all here to just share. And that's so cool. So congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as an outsider, I kind of have, I guess, my own idea of what Zineville is, but as the maker, can you tell us a little bit about what maybe specifically the YouTube channel, what you're doing on there?
Okay. The original kind of mental concept was a UHF TV channel from the early 80s, late 70s, kind of like Weird Al UHF, where, everything's like, you know, uh, that kind of community access kind of feel. And the
Yeah.
intro definitely like shows that community access feeling with the kind of grainy TV look and everything. And part of what we want to do is I've got a bunch of scripts for parodies, like commercial parodies that are zine centered, different shows and stuff. I'm trying to get into that to the next level, but I'm moving. So right now my studio is a wreck. My new studio is not happened yet. I have a green screen waiting to go up. And yeah, there's so much more planned, but it's going to feel more like a community access UHF channel. And if the kids out there don't know what UHF is, it was dial TV and it was the local channels. There was always something weird. I think Wayne's World, that was kind of UHF. And it kind of grew from there. It just was like, wow, I can do more. I can have like different TV shows. I can have a whole town of weird characters and different people who their whole thing is I like zines because there's so many different zines, right? There's per zines, mini comics, and the excitement of having so many different kinds of zines that everybody doing their own little thing, but bringing them together, just like hit me like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I like after seeing the first show, I actually reached out to you, but and Ryan was on that too. But I was I was really inspired, and I haven't really been inspired like that for a while. And I could really just see there was no boundaries to the space that you'd kind of created. It was like, okay, yeah, you could like literally do anything. You could it was really I really like seeing that first episode, and of course I've watched them all since. And even this morning's one for me, which is maybe the one you posted your morning, so the latest one, yeah, I just finished that. Actually, I just finished that just before we started chatting.
And that was a doozy. I had a couple of reviews. I had a nice
Rain Barrel's video.
yeah. I mean, there's some great like that was great. I love the very end where it's kind of like a little twist. Like I forgot those, and I was instantly relatable that you could organize everything and you're gonna forget something, and it just kind of like I like that.
I like the anything goes aspect of it. So, and I feel that way about zines sometimes, because when I first started making zines, and still to this day, what I love about it is I have so much space available to put my whatever message and content into. And sometimes it's about how am I going to fit it all into here and pick the right words or the right image. And it's gotten different in the digital age of Photoshop, and you can resize it and things around. But in the late 90s, when I was doing everything cut and pasted by hand, and it would be all kind of like this just to get it all to fit in different ways. I'm on a tangent, and I forgot what I was talking about to begin with. So, Krys, how did you get into zines in the first place?
That's a good question. It was probably 1986 when I was a kindergartner, and I used to make little books for everything. I think my first one, I still have it somewhere, is Jesus and the Dinosaurs Go to the Park. That was interesting because I was in a Catholic school and the nuns really didn't like it. But critics, right? But I kept on always making like little booklets, and it was just like a thing. Like I didn't make like stories and full papers. I would make a booklet and I would like pass a booklet in because it just felt right. And it was probably around like 1991. I was 10, 11 years old, right around there. I was delivering newspapers, and somebody had a punk zine at one of the gas stations, and I picked it up. I was like, wow, it's a booklet. And I was like, I didn't understand most of it because I was like a snot-nosed New Kids on the Block fan, but I was like, this is cool. And I don't know what happened to it, but it just kind of went from there, and I just started making them, and I sell them in high school for lunch money. I was like, yeah, hey, buy my zine. It's about how these teachers suck. And I just been into zines like from a very young age before I even knew what they were. And it just makes me so happy that so many new people are like getting into them. And I'm like, yes.
You bring up a really interesting point that I've thought about a lot lately, is I know that you and I were chatting over Instagram recently about like, having zine workshops and stuff like that, because I really want to, having kids myself, I really want to, help kids to get into zines, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so many of us made zines as kids and, preteens and stuff without knowing that it was a zine until someone went, "Hey man, I like your zine." And we went, "Oh, what's a zine?" Right? Because it happened to me too, where,
Yeah.
this girl was like, "Oh, I really love your zine." And I was like, "What the hell's a zine? This is a newsletter,"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think, it's up to us as the old farts now to really, say, this is what it is. It's up to you kids to now define what it can be.
Yep. Exactly. The new generations are just coming up with some great stuff. And it's like, okay, I mean, I'm making the same dumb comics and weird twists on life and photography that I've always made. But what these kids are coming up with is just like nothing short of miraculous. And it just makes my heart like so happy that they're finding new ways to elevate the craft of making zines. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it's a craft. It is a lot of hard work and a lot of love and passion going into a small piece of paper that's folded up, or a small like bunch of papers. It's amazing what these people are coming up with, and I love it. It makes me so happy.
Mm. Yeah, I think people are kind of worried about technology and how it kind of affects zines or zine making. But I think what it really does for a lot of people that want to make zines or learn about zines, it just gives it a way to kind of get it out there more. Like you kind of mentioned, you stumbled across your first kind of zine in a gas station or something like that. Mine was in like a record store. There was like this kind of punk record store that we used to go to in the city, and I think that's the first place I kind of found. But now, like with social media, basically, it's how people are slowly starting to find them, and then they dive in and they're like, oh, okay, so you can do it digitally, but you can also just make this physical thing,
Yeah.
and it's become just like a kind of a vehicle to be able to find them, which I think kind of comes back to your channel, which makes it great because people will slowly stumble on the channel, and even maybe a channel like this too, and then if they're interested, if something catches their ear, they can kind of dive in a little bit more.
Oh yeah. It's just amazing how like with the technology going so fast, so quick, and yeah, I still hand draw a lot of my stuff, but then I'll scan it in and I'll digitally color it because it prints out better. Yeah, I know, Ryan, you do about the same thing because I've seen your sketches and stuff. I'm like, right on. It's exactly, you sketch out because it's what we're used to and it's more native. But I mean, I'll sit there and I'll like digitally color. I'll digitally ink over, make it look really nice so it prints well. But it's just amazing where we've come so far from just a simple Xerox machine in our school office and making copies to holy crap, we can like literally do a whole print shop in our own house. It's crazy. It really is.
What are you seeing at the fest and fairs you've been at recently? Because you actually get to go to them.
I do. 2 years of not having them really about broke me. But I mean, I love zine fairs, and we do have some mini Comic Cons around here. And I'm finally getting to step into the zine fairs in the area. The first one we're going to be hitting is in a couple weeks. We're going to Small Press Expo in Bethesda, Maryland, which is kind of like a big independent comics one. And before we stopped because of pandemic, um I was doing a lot of trades. Like on my badges I always put will trade. At my tables, whenever I have a table, will trade zines. I think it's a core part of the original feel for
Mm.
the zine community is we bartered. I mean, I'm always about bartering and trading. I think it's just kind of like a core principle of what the actual ethos of zine making and zine trading is,
Well,
um
I think it's
see a lot
because
of
I think it's because because as a creator, you know how much work you put into your
yeah,
one zine, so you know how valuable the other person's is.
exactly.
People that don't kind of create their own stuff, they don't kind of understand the value of it that's been sort of kind of put in behind it. So yeah, I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
what kind of gets missing, that's really noticeable, or really that's ingrained in somebody that makes zines, kind of.
Oh yeah, there'll be people who've never been to a zine fair and they show up because their friend dragged them because they want to go. And they're always kind of like very hesitant at first. And by the second day, like especially I saw this at SPX a couple of years ago. By the second day, they're like consuming as much as they can, buying and taking it all in because they were kind of like, what am I looking at? You know, people who don't know just kind of like are a little freaked out their first zine fair. Same thing with tabling. It's a very daunting thing to table the first time. It's a very, you're in your mental place of, I am not good enough to be here amongst all these great talented people, but it's something that we're all literally the same anxiety ridden beings doing the same thing. And I always encourage anybody who's a new tabler, if you have things you don't mind trading, put that you will trade zines, and then people will trade random things. I'm bringing a whole bag of my mini zines, toy dinosaurs, and random little packs of stuff to trade for people at SPX because they love doing that kind of stuff. And you know, I've traded. I think the last one I got 2 troll dolls at this last little art fair I went to. The lady traded me 2 zines for 2 troll dolls from the 90s, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm here. It's a bride and groom. How could I say no?
I think back to the point of like the internet and Instagram and everything versus the zine fair. When you look, like, you can put anything on your Instagram and make it however you want to look, right? But if you're sitting at a table and it's your first time at a zine fest, unless you're kind of like a extroverted person, it can be hard to get people to take a look at your stuff. You know,
Yes.
someone like me who's like, hey, blah blah blah, ooh, you over here, come check. Have I got something for you? You know, no problem.
You're
But
the
you know that.
of the zine world, I swear, Ryan.
What's that?
You're the Guy Fieri of the zine world.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Better look at him.
The zines.
So I want to jump back to the channel. I want to know, like, what kind of course you've got maybe a million ideas floating around in your mind about, but what's something that people could kind of help you with, that you'd really like to put on the show?
I have a couple of basic ways that people can do, and I always look at this is self-promotion. There's a lot of people out there that will charge for self-promotion. We're not charging. We just want to help you. The first thing you can do is what Ryan did, which is the countdown questionnaire. And that's just like a bunch of questions, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's just showing off what you love, what you make, and what helps you make what you love. And then there's you can make a whole thing, show us your collection, show us your library, show us a different fold on zines that we have no idea what it is. Yeah, exactly. Show us your zines and show us your collection. I mean, Ryan could spend 2 hours showing us his collection. I would love to see it someday. And then there's also, if you don't want to put your face on screen, you can also send a bunch of static images and either do a voiceover or give me a script and I'll do a voiceover for you and put it out there. Exactly. Like, hey, check this out. Ryan's got the great zine. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this for him and just give a whole script of what he tells me I need to say about the zine to put it out there and help him promote himself. And then there's one thing that actually costs money. Send me your zines. I'll review them. I've still got some backstock from zine cuisine days that I'm still going through, but they're packed in the moment. But I'm going to be doing some zine collection ramas and going to be doing that. But yeah, there's ways to put yourself out there, and I want to help you do that. Anyone you can. If you have a great idea for something weird, like a slasher movie zine fest parody, let's do it. I am getting. There's a free idea right there. Somebody do it, please.
Yeah, I think creating something like you've created, you really need kind of kind of people involved. Like this show only started was because Ryan and maybe I sent out a thing first, a story, and said, oh, I'd like to start like a podcast about zines, but I don't want to do it by myself. And Ryan kind of reached back out to me and said, yeah, I've got the same idea. So I think having like kind of other people involved, it really takes the pressure or the burden or kind of the 100% stress off just you.
Yes.
How you kind of feel about that? Or
I have no problem talking. I'm a theater nerd from the highest degree, and I have no problem putting myself out there and talking about things that I'm passionate about. As an autistic person, I could talk about my special interests for hours. I have. But there's something about somebody telling us their own story and what they love. I want their voices because I can speak for you, but it's not going to be completely genuine to what you like. I could say, oh yeah, the zine was because they really hated the pandemic and they found their love for corn dogs. But if you tell me that you really love corn dogs, you found how much you really love them during 2020, I'm gonna honestly maybe I should get a corn dog. It's gonna feel that passion from somebody telling me their story rather than me telling it for them. So yeah, it does help when somebody puts some sort of thing together to add to the channel, that I could put that out there, and then it's also bringing them and their voice and their passion out.
okay, just probably Ryan's got a couple of questions, but just on that, like, how can people, if someone's watching this right now and they're like, I got a good idea, how do people reach out? Can you let us know?
Well, Instagram is obviously the first thing most people hit me up on, which is just Zineville on Instagram. So just like Zineville, there I am. But if you're going to email me, which I highly suggest you can send me files, it is zinevillePostOffice@gmail.com. I just try to keep it simple. It's kind of fun. There's the post office, send me the mail. And and that's probably the best way to do it. Like I said, I mean, you could send me zines if you want to, but if you just want to send a video, send me email, MP4, landscape if possible, and as clear as you possibly can. I think that everybody has a little camera studio in their phone, and it's easy to do it now.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of opportunities, like out and about, like when you go to Zine Fest and stuff like that. Here in Canada, we have a television channel called Much Music, and it was like Canadian MTV is pretty much what it was. And they used to have this thing called Speaker's Corner that was outside of the station, where you could put like a quarter in it or something, and it would start recording you. And you could say whatever you wanted for like 30 seconds or a minute or something. And if they liked what it was, they'd put it on TV. So, every once in a while you'd come up to Speaker's Corner. And like, that's something that you could do at a Zine Fest, is you could just have a little spot where zinesters or zine collectors or whoever come by and just say whatever they want, that you've got content for the channel.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea, because I mean, eventually I want to have booths at zine fairs to promote the channel, and be able to do interviews on the spot with a backdrop. And yeah, I mean, that way I could have more people add something like whatever they want to say about a zine, which I think is really cool. So that's a great idea. I love it. And I'm gonna do that.
It's just you at the moment, is it? Are you interested in building a team at all, or you just happy kind of?
Definitely am. I am one person. My sister is definitely going to be helping me with a few episodes and stuff and doing some things. I'm pretty limited because where I'm at, I don't have too many people to work with. I've worked with my friend Steven a few times. I went to his, if you've seen some of the old Zine Cuisine episodes, and actually one of the first Zineville ones, I had an interview. He told me all about his zine collection, which I love. He's got a big zine collection too. But we went to his old work where he has a risograph machine, and we did a whole zine on the risograph machine, which I thought was so much fun. And so I try to collaborate with people when I can, but I'm area where it's very verbose with zine people, so it's kind of hard to collaborate around here. We're gonna get there.
because I really like the idea, like I said, 30 minutes ago, I really like the idea that you have, and I like how open it is. And like I've done my review thing on Instagram for 5 years or something like that, and I know how easy, how after a while you kind of get burnt out when you do it by yourself. And like I mentioned about this project, I knew I couldn't just do something by myself. So I think it's really important that, if somebody's watching this, or if people are interested, to really reach out and try and get involved and help you out. But, also like, just maybe they want to be a bit of a creator, or they want to, like make a short film, or they want to make something that's zine related, that it kind of, helps everybody out. It's not just, it's just for you or anything. It's kind of being part of that Zineville community. And I kind of really want to encourage people to do that with you. And
Oh yeah, I don't know if anybody else remembers. Like, I watched a lot of kid shows when I was little, and one of the things I used to love was the weird little tours and how they make it on like shows like Pinwheel and Sharon Lewis and Bram's Elephant Show. They do these like little montages of something that they go see, and it's a little precious mini film on how something's made with just kind of music over it. And I definitely want some of those. As I just kind of feel that that's somebody might want that, and just kind of feel like, oh, I can really zen out to just seeing how people fold zines different ways. That'd be really cool. So,
I think he froze.
There we go.
Sorry, am I back?
Back.
You're back.
Okay. And like I said, I was watching today, and I was thinking, even when I was watching the credits, I thought, if there's somebody out there that just like that does graphic design or something, that really wants to, I think even like that kind of stuff would really add to the show and maybe help you and be part of the team.
Really help, because I'm like I said, right now I'm recording it, I'm compiling everything as much as I can, and what I'm doing is I'm editing it all at the same time. So I filmed this morning. It's in the evening here. I filmed this morning, and after I got to work, edited the whole thing, and then uploaded it by dinner time. So I did all. I was
watching that.
Yeah, it was kind of hectic because I didn't do anything last week. I took a break. I needed a break, so I took a mental health break, did some self-care, made some fun stuff, and just took a week off. And you can't feel bad about doing that.
No. I can relate, because like Craig and I will interview somebody, and I can almost guarantee that when we're done here tonight, Craig's gonna message me within 90 minutes. So is it edited? Is it ready to go up yet? And like the editing process is the part that I hate the most, is the editing, and it'll be like every day, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? And that's why we always say it'll be ready in a couple of days.
Oh yeah.
Ryan does all the work on this show. I do nothing. I just turn up. But I'm not that bad.
He's the eye candy. He brings in the subscribers.
Oh yeah, the whole 5 of them.
Yes.
Well, we need to work on that one so we can get you guys some more subs, because it's a game out there, and we need to get more eyes on what you guys do, because I love this. I love talking to other people who make zines, and I mean, completely far-flung locales from where I'm at. I kind of feel a little sequestered here sometimes, because there isn't really anything going on here. We have some little fun stuff here and there, but making a zine fair is my push into going, hey, we need a zine fair here.
I want to just kind of close this up, because we're going to give a little bit of a sneak thing that we're going to record something for your show next. So if you're watching this and you don't know about Zineville, then you should they'll probably link down below, if Ryan can do in the description, and jump over to Zineville and check out what we chat about over there. But thank you so much for coming on, Krys, and talking about your project.
Anytime. Had a blast.
Good. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for Ryan too for our season 3, season 3.5, something like that.
It's a new name. It's season 0, Behind the Zine.
Oh, okay, yeah, episode 27.5. I don't know. How many people have we talked to, Ryan, in the past?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay, thank you very much for joining us today, and we will see you next time on Behind the Zines. Thank you, Krys.
Thank
Thank you,
y'all.
Chris. Bye, everybody.
Bye.